Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Elvira Valdez and welcome to EFP Media, a space where we explore wellness, personal growth, and faith through a gentle and intentional lifestyle. Today we're diving into something many of us are silently battling, and that's high cortisol levels, and how it's impacting not only our stress, but also our gut health, mood, and overall energy. So let's talk about that today and what raises it, how it affects our bodies, and how you can start regulating your levels naturally and intentionally. So, first, we need to determine what is cortisol. And cortisol is often called the stress hormone. It is produced by your adrenaline glands and plays a key role in how you handle stress. Yes, it helps regulate your blood pressure, sleep and wake cycles, your metabolism, and even inflammation. But when it's too high, especially due to chronic stress, poor sleep, or emotional triggers, it can throw your body out of balance. And that is what I've learned. So, I want to talk about what causes high cortisol. And the top of the list is stress. Okay. Stress. Emotionally, physically, and mentally. Even holding in your emotions and pretending that everything is okay can spike your cortisol levels. So, that is something that many of us know that we're dealing with and we don't really work on, but we need to work on these things in order to minimize our cortisol levels. It was when I was working out, eating healthy, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, but I was not losing weight. And I realized that that was because I was in a very stressful environment. I was also working out, which was, I was like probably lift and strength training or doing high intense workouts every day. And that all can cause you to kind of go into overload when it comes to your cortisol levels. So you want to make sure that you are loving yourself intentionally so that your stress levels can be minimized. If you have a poor sleep schedule, or irregular sleep patterns, meaning you wake up at different times, you don't go to bed at a certain time, that can cause you to have high cortisol levels. Sleep is very important. We need rest. Your body has to replenish, restore, revive. So if you're not sleeping regularly and on a good schedule, your body is going to react to that. Your body is going to respond, and it's going to respond with high cortisol levels. Okay. Caffeine overload. If you're drinking too much caffeine, if you're having caffeine on an empty stomach, this is going to influence your cortisol levels. So I recommend maybe eating breakfast first, having a smoothie first in the morning, and then having your caffeine if you got to have it. Okay. Skipping meals. You want to make sure that you're eating balanced meals at good times and also not skipping meals. So, me, I typically don't want to have a meal as soon as I wake up. So I get me a juice. I have my juice and I drink that. And it's filled like this morning. I had a papaya, pineapple, and orange juice mix, and it was delicious. And, it tastes good. So instead of having me waking up and eating a big breakfast, I just have my juice, and then later in the morning I'll go in and maybe have some oatmeal right about 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So, over exercising. Now, many of us, when we first start our fitness journey, you're trying to work out, you're trying to stay consistent. I want to encourage you to know this: walking, stretching, all of those things play a part in you working out. So you don't have to strength train every single day. You don't have to lift weights every single day. You can do the small little things that get your body active here and there, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, and put the strength training down and do something else. And that way your body is having time to rest. So you want to make sure that you are implementing, balance into your exercising. Do not I don't recommend doing something that's physically exhausting every single day. It's going to raise your cortisol levels. And negative thinking, perfectionism is going to raise your cortisol levels because you're constantly being on. You're never turning it off. You're always thinking, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I have to be here. I got to be there. I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I'm scared of this. I'm going, like, even me saying that, you see how overwhelming that can feel. Imagine your body processing all of those emotions 24 hours a day. Even when you're asleep, you're worrying. Okay. So all of these things tells our brain that we are not safe. And when your brain thinks you're not safe, cortisol rises. It's just as simple as that. So I want to tell you what signs your cortisol is too high. So if you have trouble sleeping or waking up tired, cortisol may be too high. If you're dealing with bloating, gas, or gut issues, your cortisol may be too high. Craving for sugar or salt, mood swings or anxiety, brain fog, or stubborn belly fat. If any of those things sound familiar to you, your body may be trying to tell you something and is telling you, hey, your cortisol levels are through the roof and we need to lower these down just a little bit so that everything is done the right way. So, with that being said, you want to make sure that your body is, at the right levels at all time. Now, please keep in mind, of course, I'm not a licensed nutritionist, wellness coach, not yet, but as of right now, I am not a licensed or certified nutritionist or wellness coach. So definitely speak to your primary care doctor about getting, like, physically going to the doctor and checking for your cortisol levels. However, I'm just giving you an overall review of things that you might want to be on the lookout for, being that it could be possible that your cortisol levels are a little too high. Okay. So, with that being said, cortisol directly affects your gut health. Okay. So you have your brain, and then I look at the gut as your second brain. And if you look at your digestive system, you will see that a lot of the brain and the gut kind of look alike. It's just that the gut is the intestines and all of that is just a little different. Anyway, just my little random thought. But cortisol directly affects your digestive system. So when you're stressed, your body slows down digestion to focus on survival. This can lead to bloating, constipation, or even loose stool. And it also throws off your gut bacteria. So you have healthy gut bacteria, and then you have not non-healthy gut bacteria, and that affects your mood. Okay. So it affects your mood, your skin, your immune system. All of these things play a part when cortisol levels are too high and it's communicating with your gut. So you may be eating all the right foods, but if your stress is too high, your gut can't do its job well. It doesn't really know what to do because, once again, your body is thinking it's in survival mode, and regulating your cortisol is a huge part in healing your gut. It's no way around it. So we have to step outside of being in survival mode and being in resting mode. There is a time and place for knowing when to get up and flight or when to get up and fight. There's a time and place for those things, but you should not be in that state of mind every single moment of your day. That's exhausting. And many of us don't realize that we are in that state of mind because we're so used to being there. So, how to lower your cortisol levels naturally. So, we want to talk about solutions. I don't want to just give you a problem without providing you solutions. And here are simple shifts that you can do. Now, these are the things that I do in my life. These are natural ways. Of course, if you go to a doctor, your doctor may prescribe you something that can help you out a little bit more in that regard of your physical journey. So, with that being said, you want to sleep intentionally. So, make sure that you have a routine. Listen, if them kids got to go to bed early, they're going to have to go to bed early so you can get into bed on time. Okay. If you need to take you a nap, you need to start taking naps. You need to start finding the value in taking a nap. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling like I can't do it. Yes, you can. Close your eyes and take a nap. If you have kids of the age that can be self sufficient for like an hour, you know, then take you a nap. You're not going to hurt anybody. I mean, even the Lord rested on the seventh day. So you choose a day that you can rest and you can be uninterrupted. And then at night, create a routine that helps you be more at peace. So make sure that you are doing what needs to be done. And that way that you have the resources you need to get to sleep in the hours that you need to get to sleep. Okay. Eat nourishing foods, blood sugar stabilizing meals. So you want to eat whole foods. You want to minimize your eating of processed foods, snacks, candy, sugar. You want to minimize all of those things because those things can contribute to you having high cortisol levels. So you want to eat whole foods, you want to eat healthy fats, you want to eat lean proteins. I personally cannot eat beef on a constant basis. So typically I just eat my fish, seafood, stuff like that I can process. Okay. Also take breaks to breathe. So for me, I'm taking time out of my day to pray. I'm taking time out of my day to speak to God, have a conversation with God, and learn how to just take time to be still and quiet. Those moments, little do you know, is letting your body know that we can relax. And when your body realizes that it can relax, it's going to lower your cortisol levels. Take a walk outside. So, as I mentioned before, strength training is amazing. You'll get the perfect physique that you want if you work hard for it. However, strength training, constantly lifting heavy weights, constantly doing a hit routine is going to put your body in flight mode all the time. It's always going to put your body in fight mode all the time. So you want to have a healthy balance. You don't have to work out 5 days a week. You don't have to work out 4 days a week. You can simply work out 3 days a week and allow the other 2 days to be days that you're simply just walking and you're just getting your body moving, you're stretching, you're talking, you're being kind to yourself. Okay. So you want to make sure that while you are strength training, you are also giving your body the time it needs to recover. Okay. So even on the weekends, doesn't mean on the weekends you just let yourself go and you're overeating, we don't do that. You still want to be mindful. We want to be mindful and intentional, but also, make sure that you are getting that intentional walk in. So do a 4 mile walk, 2 miles one way, and then turn around and there you go. You got 4 miles in. Stretch, like I said, stretch and do gentle movement. Whatever you might like. You might want to do some dancing, Pilates, things like that. Light stretching, things like that you can do. And limit your caffeine and sugar. So try to get your natural sugars in that comes from your fruits and veggies, that comes from a smoothie. Get those kind of sugar and caffeines into your system. And always, always, always speak kind to yourself. How you talk to yourself in here is so important in what you believe in your heart about yourself. So, whatever you say in here is what you feel in your heart. So, make sure that you are speaking life over yourself. Make sure that you are seeking the life that you're speaking the life that you deserve, and you're saying it with intention and you believe it. Okay, you got to believe it. You got to fake it until you make it. Okay, if you just got to make up some stuff, make it up. Okay, but just make sure that you're speaking life over yourself. Your thoughts can either calm your system or alarm it. So if you're constantly worrying, you're constantly triggering yourself about the things that make you cry and make you sad, your system is feeling that something is wrong here and is going to try to fix it. That's what our bodies do. When we are stressed, our bodies are trying to fix it. But we have to train our bodies how to not allow high stress environments to create a lot of stress within us. You can only change yourself. You can't change the world. You can change yourself, though. So you have to learn how to kind of redirect that energy into something else. Also, create quiet moments, quiet routines. Sit in silence, take a bath, get you some eucalyptus and put it in your shower. Get you your favorite body wash, drink you some tea. Okay, my favorite tea is the Stress Relief Tea by Yogi, Yogi. That is a good tea. Okay, you want to feel like you on cloud nine with natural herbs, get you some yogi tea. It will calm down your nervous system. It'll allow you to relax. Steep it in the warm water and then pour it over some ice with a little honey. Listen, don't talk about it, be about it, okay? Let God calm your spirit. So next, and before I close out this video, I want to give you a lifestyle that creates a balanced cortisol levels. And it's not just about managing your stress, it's about creating a life that doesn't fuel it. I used to be so disorganized. I used to be so like in my brain, like literally like all the time, erratic. That used to be me. And I know how to hide it well, I knew how to hide it well. I know how to hide it well. And I'm growing out of that personality trait because I could be very like, go, 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 go. And then I could be very like, once I'm burnt out, I'm like on the couch. Sorry, guys. I'm on the couch. I'm in the bed. And it's always, listen, my body always lets me know. Now, the brothers, y'all might want to dip out on this one, but my body always lets me know, sis, that when my cycle is about to come, my body be like, knock, 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 knock. Hey, shawty. You need to go ahead and wrap this up because we need to go lay down. We need some we want to relax. We want to take a nap. We don't want all of this. And that's my gentle reminder that I have to do what I need to do to keep my body in a restful state before my cycle comes. So understanding that about myself, realizing that there are routines that have to be on the regular that I have to do. So I just want to share that with you guys, that you don't want to just live a life managing your stress. You want to live a life that you are creating a life that doesn't fuel it. You don't want to fuel it. Stress is going to happen, but we don't have to fuel it. Okay. So for one, you got to protect your peace. Okay. Get you into an environment that protects your peace. Get you a job that protects your peace. Get you a husband. Get you like, no, let me stop. Because if you married and your husband ain't peaceful, I don't know what to tell you. If your wife ain't peaceful, I don't know what to tell you. You should have figured that out before you said I do. My bad. Anyway, though, you know, get you a life that protects your peace, get you an environment that protects your peace. So the things that you can change it. If you work in a toxic environment, if you're in a toxic relationship, if you're in a toxic household, you need to change your environment and you need to get a new environment. And you also need to start working on yourself. By working on yourself and you desire what you desire, you're going to start setting boundaries. So you want to start setting boundaries that work for you. Don't skip rest, okay? Just to be productive. Guys, ladies, brothers, the brothers I understand because that's like their purpose in life. But sisters, we were not created for that. We were not. We were not. We were not. We were not. We were not created for that. We were not created to be hard. We were not created to be, on go, 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 go. We weren't created for that. Men were. So you got to get back into alignment with your natural origin. It's not to say that women can't, but when you do, you're out of alignment. So to get back into an alignment, you have to allow rest into your life. You have to allow peace into your life. You have to allow boundaries into your life and let go of the control and let God care for what you cannot. Let them kids fend for themselves sometimes. I can't do that because mine is 5. So if you have children that's young that need you, we need to put them babies on a routine. We need to put them babies to bed by a certain time so mommy can enjoy her bubble bath, so mommy can enjoy her time to read her book. Today, when I leave to go pick up my son, I'm going to take a little trip to the Barnes and Noble and I'm going to go buy me a book. I'm going to go buy me like a fiction romance book just to kind of live in fantasy land for a little bit, okay? To escape from this reality, all right? Because right now, I ain't really liking what I'm seeing. Okay. So I'm going to go get me a book that I'm going to enjoy and I'm going to do that. And that's going to be a part of one of my quiet routines. And it's going to bring me peace. And it's going to allow me to calm down. And it's going to allow me to go into bedtime with a more centered heart. You have to remember, sis, you are perfect and wonderfully made, but how you treat yourself is going to reflect in how you show up in the world. If you're being mean, if you're being nasty, if you're being sharp, what is your body saying to you? What is your mood saying to you? Where do you need to take a step back and say, hey, I need some time for me today? If that means sitting in the tub, if that means going for a walk, if that means leaving your husband with them kids, if that means going in the room, closing the door, eating your snacks and watching a good movie and just being to yourself, those things are very, very valuable and you deserve it. Okay. So know that you have to protect your peace. You have to set boundaries. Don't skip rest just to be productive. You have to teach your children, this is quiet time, and I know it's hard, especially when you have younger kids, but listen, when they start school, they're going to have nap time and the teacher going to say, you don't have to take a nap, but you're going to lay down. So start training your kids at home. Okay. And this is how you regulate your nervous system. This is how you let your body know we are safe. You don't have to stress. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to be anxious. It's okay. We're good. We're going to be okay. And your body will slowly start to respond. And you will see your digestive system changing. You'll see your stomach going down. You'll see that you're not stressed as often. You have to start taking accountability for how you treat yourself. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop blaming the kids. Stop blaming the husband. Stop blaming the job. Stop blaming the family, your mama, sister, brother, whoever. Stop blaming them and take accountability for you. You're not making time to sit and be silent. You're not making time to regulate your nervous system. You're not making time to take a nap because you think you're going to miss something. Let me tell you something. Once you take that nap, once you take that bubble bath, them dishes going to be right there waiting for you. Wouldn't you want to wash the dishes when you feel good, when you feel rested and got the energy to do it? Or do you just want to just keep doing things that depletes your energy until you're burnt out? And now you're mean. And now you're nasty. Now you're snapping on people. Now you're having mood swings. So let's take it back. Let's take it back. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's work on ourselves. Let's love on ourselves because ain't nobody going to do it for you. Okay? Ain't nobody coming to save you. You on your own. All right? Okay? You by yourself. Okay? This is an island. Okay? So you got to work on yourself. Okay? So I hope that motivated you to take some time for you and put them kids on a schedule, put that husband on a schedule. It's like, I ain't gonna tell you what to do with your man, but I'm just saying, I don't have a husband, so I can't tell you what to do with one. Okay. So your body is always speaking to you, but are you listening? Yes, your body is always speaking to you, but are you listening? And when cortisol levels are super high, it's saying, I'm overwhelmed. Can you please slow down? Give yourself grace, begin again, If you got to pause and come back again. Breathe, nourish, and rest. We are created as the weaker vessel. We just are. God designed it that way. Don't argue with me. Argue with God. He ain't gonna really listen too much to that anyway. So just own what you were created to do, and that's rest. There are times where you're going to have to multiply. There are times that you're going to have to show up and be that Proverbs 31 woman. But to show up and be her, you have to own when to rest. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this video to be useful. And I want you to remember that you are not alone. Over here on EFP Media, we focus on faith, wellness, and personal growth. And this video was to really help you learn and hopefully opened your eyes to how your cortisol levels can be quickly and could be impacting your life, your lifestyle. If you want that soft girl life, if you want to enjoy soft luxuries, um, you know, a luxury for me is drinking me a glass of tea and being able to watch my favorite TV show. So that's a luxury for me, whatever it means for you. But that's all I got, you guys. I don't have anything else to say. I hope you found this video to be helpful, and I'm here to walk in peace with you in wellness one day at a time. I got so many ideas that I'm thinking about. So I'm definitely here to help you guys. I'm definitely here to work our way through these things as I am learning myself. So, with that being said, guys, I love you all. I pray you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.